YouTube is 19 years old now, and it's easy to look at that number and think how much we've progressed since the early days of YouTube. But what if I told you that YouTube today is the culmination of everything before it? To be honest, you'd probably say, duh. It's no secret YouTubers constantly take inspiration from each other, especially evident in the MrBeastification of YouTube. But you'd probably think it was as simple as that this one guy inspired this other guy. But it actually goes back way further than MrBeast, and my argument and presentation today will be on how everything links back to the first generation of YouTubers. And the cool thing is that I'm confident after watching this, you could go back to any creator from 2005 to 2010 and see for yourself how interconnected YouTube really is. Let's start with a simple diagram. That's right, I went all out for this video and made pictures. Now here I am down at the bottom, and I'm hugely inspired by J Schlatt, specifically the Weekly Slap. That's why we're even here in this weird philosophical Minecraft world, and that's why I discuss a lot of the stuff that I do. The Weekly Slap played such an enormous role in shaping and creating this channel that this inspiration is very clear. But to expand that diagram to another level, we look at one of Schlatt's inspirations, being Woody's game attack. And suddenly my inspiration has a very clear inspiration too, and when you look at it, you'll understand just how clear that inspiration really is, and this is the argument I'm trying to display. I'm inspired by old YouTube, but I'm unknowingly inspired by it. Through this thread of inspiration, the commentary style and visual, relaxed style that I've developed and the topics I've talked about are actually incredibly similar to what Woody was making 10 years ago, and this is so cool to discover because I had never watched a single one of his videos until about a week ago. So that was a pretty basic diagram to follow. I'm assuming you're all caught up, but let's chuck a few more YouTubers in there and oh boy, you'll truly start to see the scope of what I'm talking about. Alright, this diagram is a bit of a mess, but you'll probably see some faces in here that you're a bit confused about, but that's awesome, because we'll start again here with Woody. Here you can see how he inspired J Schlatt, we've already been over that, but he also connects to MrBeast of all people. Now recently, the Weekly Slap posted a collab out of nowhere with Jimmy, and they reminisce over how they watched Woody when they were younger and how much they learned from him. This is also just a really interesting collab, so I'll throw it in the description for you all to watch. Anyway, with this knowledge, we can see how it connects to the YouTubers of today, inspired by MrBeast. You know, your Arax and your Matthew Beams. MrBeast created this entire genre of YouTube videos, but through this chart I made in 15 minutes, we can see how that connects all the way back to original YouTube. But oh boy, this chart is not just a simple flow of inspiration, my friend, because in many cases, inspiration goes both ways. That's right, we've got omnidirectional arrows on this chart. Let's take the example of Ryan Trahan, easily the best YouTuber to come out of the MrBeast style of content in my opinion, and see how he's adapted it. His style of videos is way more down to earth, it's still videos with the pacing of current YouTube and in some areas the gigantic scale, like with his Penny series, but largely you could say that Ryan is the everyman MrBeast. And MrBeast has said many times how impressive Ryan's accomplishments have been as a YouTuber, and in some ways how he's even envious of Ryan's carefree, fun content. You can clearly see the respect and admiration that goes both ways between these two people, but this isn't even when we're done with Ryan Trahan. Because we've got other obvious inspirations like his Penny series, which inspired a ton of 30-day content. For example, Tommy Innett's vlog series around New York, where he heavily credited Ryan Trahan as the source of inspiration. But also, I've connected him to me at the bottom. And this is because his ethic and attitude towards making his videos inspires me a lot. Even if the content is largely different, if there's one thing I try and make the same between Ryan's videos and my videos, it's that authenticity and relatability that he has. And if you really want to get particular again, we can take even Ryan Trahan, a new generation YouTuber, all the way back to the first YouTubers. Because what actually is Ryan Trahan's Penny series, his most popular set of videos? It's just daily vlogs, right? And vlogging has been around since YouTube began. The only difference is the better cinematography, pacing, and storytelling to match up to current YouTube standards. Even so, it technically wasn't anything brand new. It was just presented in a new way that revolutionized the YouTube game for a bit. Let's continue to switch it up and move along the line over to me at the bottom. You can see I've got a ton of inspirations that I'm connected to. Many I've talked about before, especially in this video, like Internet Pit Stop. But the last one I'd like to highlight today is Flow State. Because many credit Flow State as the originator for this new style of Minecraft content we're seeing. This more relaxed, long play, less heavily edited and scripted style. And I'm not about to disagree, I believe he's single-handedly created a whole subgenre of Minecraft content. That's why he's not linked to a specific creator apart from myself. Rather, I've linked him to a type of video, this genre he started. But again, if you really think about it and break it down, what are we seeing? Well, it's a commentary, often about life advice, mental health, self-improvement, whatever you want, and it's done over gameplay. Well, hold on, isn't that just Woody's gamertag all over again? There's obviously some differences going on, the age of the creator, the type of gameplay being shown, but largely the style of presentation hasn't changed in over a decade. And there's something about that which really makes me smile. I want to highlight something I said earlier, which is that I made this in 15 minutes. I truly believe if you looked at this topic for even a few hours, this flowchart could be never ending. I haven't even discussed fully all the creators in this tiny flowchart, but what I'm confident about is that you could take any current generation YouTuber and trace their roots all the way back clearly to a first generation YouTuber. And this might not be a revolutionary idea that people are inspired by one another, but I do think it's overlooked that in many ways, not only is the old YouTube actually returning, but it never really left in the first place. I'd love to hear about your inspirations in the comments below, but for now, thank you so much for stopping by on this brief intermission in your life, and until next time, have a good one.